Put the kids to bed, Dad's home. We are the dWo podcast, representing the Dad World Order. I am the handsome head of household, Mr. Magnificent Mike Martin. With me as always, my other two Padres. First up, we got Big Rig Eric Murphy. And I don't know why I said it all sultry like that. Eric Murphy.
It works, man.
Single daddy.
Yeah, probably.
We should throw that out there every once in a while. Yes, he's the single one, ladies. And last but not least, our good friend, the wrestling t-shirt guy, Cephas.
All right, what up, y'all?
What's going on? We're hanging in there. Well, as Mr. Magnificent said, we are the dWo podcast, and we have back with us tonight, pretty much going to be a recurring guest at this point, Mr. TussleMania himself, Roland Lugo. Sir, how the heck are you?
Sponsored athlete, two-time guest. What's up, boys?
Love it. Love it. Sponsored by yours truly. No big deal.
Right.
So what's going on, man? You've been all over the place, shooting all the good footage. Revolver is just freaking taking off like a rocket, it feels like.
Yeah, bro, it's been a nice little 2-week stretch. Started in Iowa for Cage of Horrors.
Mm-hmm.
Got that, stayed there for a little bit, and then flew with Sammy back to Ohio and stayed there with him for a little bit. And then we flew to Texas for Texas Toasted, which was this weekend, which was so damn cool, dude. New market, new fans. We weren't too sure how it would go, and it was just met and exceeded our expectations. So
Hell yeah.
Down, new market. Definitely will be going back to Texas for sure.
Awesome.
I definitely enjoyed watching it home, man. It was quite an entertaining spectacle, man. I like that they mixed in a little MPX. I like that they it seemed like a welcome to the neighborhood from MPX to Revolver. You know what I mean? And it was pretty neat. Pretty neat to watch.
Definitely. All the MPX loyals, they were all there. Sorry, back.
Oh yeah, there we go.
Sorry about that. My phone just blacked out. Yeah, so all the MPX loyals were there, so that was pretty cool to have. A big shout out to Matthew Palmer. He basically set most of it up. He's the Texas guy that got the venue, helped book, just really was the glue for all things Texas. So critical part. Yeah, he's the man, Monster Hunter. Love that dude. So he helped get all that going, and MPX was a critical part. And then MPX actually has a show this weekend, so they're definitely going to be able to funnel a lot of that fanfare that we created over to their shows now. So very nice.
Love it, man.
Yeah, nice circle there.
Like Cephas said, man, it was so much fun watching that at home, especially with it being a new market. Because like we've watched the Dayton shows from home, we've watched the Iowa shows from home, but it being in a new building, like you said, new fans and everything, you don't know, what the reaction's going to be, and it was, you could just tell that those people were ready, especially Sammy and Allie catching a street fight, Keith Lee coming in there, Lance Archer coming in to whip the tits off of Matthew Palmer. No offense, bud, but he forgot to take his potion.
Yeah, I knew once Lance Archer took a drink of that potion, it was over for our friend Mr. Palmer. But
yeah,
that's right. He made the mistake of leaving double potion out there. He drank one and he was on a little bit of a roll, but once Lance took his side of it, it was done for old boy.
Yeah. We've actually go ahead.
I gotta give a shout out to Veda Scott. She is an excellent commentator. Watching and listening to her, first off, the fact that she said dWo podcast just really made her, really cool. But beyond that, she called an amazing event damn near by herself at points. You know what I mean? She had guests in and out, that were helping her out, but she's really, really good. That's all I'm saying. It's just she can hold it all by herself. She almost doesn't need a second person.
Veda's amazing. I can't say enough good things about Veda. And Veda put me over pretty hard a couple events ago, so I was pretty hyped on that.
Oh, really?
Well, speaking of Cage of Horrors, I feel like we need to talk about the elephant in the room. And you know what? Before we even talk about it, let's just go ahead. For anybody that doesn't know, we're going to watch this from 3 different angles.
Roll the footage, baby.
Fulton is down, Crash Jackson is down, and no way. No, what?
What are you thinking, Roland? Seriously? Roland!
Middle fingers in the air.
TussleMania!
Frog splash to Fulton. And now Crash Jackson rolling into the cover.
Oh.
All right, clever guy!
Dude.
So good. I pop every time for that.
Yep.
Absolutely. Makes me smile.
Who shot with your camera there? That third.
I have a homie who does like the backstage promos. Angelo.
Okay.
He's the man. And I actually gave him a little bit of a heads up before the match. I was like, yo, dude, some crazy shit might go down on this match. If it does, I'm going to lay my camera down. And when I laid my camera down, he wears these golden shoes and his foot just perfectly goes in frame. And then you see that for a couple seconds. He fucking scoots over, grabs the camera. I was so happy. He nailed the shot, dude.
Yes.
And then the other one was my phone that I just gave to a fan. Because after Fulton pushed me in the beginning of the match, this fan was like, dude, are you all right? And I was like, bro, take my phone, and if something happens, please film it. And that dude was awesome. He was like zooming in, getting into it. So I gave him a fanny pack after the show.
Hell yeah. Dude, the whole crowd just chanting camera guy.
Dude.
Just that popped me. I love it.
Of my life, bro. Seriously, like the coolest moment. Like I had some I had people like coming out of the woodwork like saying congratulations and whatever, like people from fucking high school and shit that I would watch wrestling with that. And then a bunch of like my Florida homies were like, bro, you did a spot in a Revolver ring, like we'll never do a spot in a Revolver ring. And I was like, damn, I didn't really think about that. That's fucking crazy. Like a little bit of a cool achievement. I've never done anything wrestling wise, but obviously I'm a bit of an athlete with a martial arts background with jiu-jitsu and Muay Thai and whatnot. So I knew I could do something cool, and Sammy had the faith in me to pull something off. So, it couldn't have gone any better, dude. And
it was perfect.
Jake showed me how to get up on the rope, and that was all I needed to know, bro. The instinct took over after that.
Yeah.
We may be dads, but let me quote the young ones here when I say, "You've got some riz, bro. You've got charisma." The fact that you took about 10 seconds to look and climb, you know what I mean? You didn't just hop up there and immediately do it. The fact that you told that story, bro, I appreciate that so much. When I see those little aspects, and that goes to show just how big of a wrestling fan you are.
That's exactly it, man. You nailed it. That's like years and years of me absorbing this and knowing what needs to be done to get that crowd to fucking bust a nut, dude. And that's what they did. Like that first camera angle, when I'm glad they went to the hard cam because you can literally see everyone standing up, dude.
Oh yeah.
Like I've got goosebumps again, bro, because that shit is just what a cool thing to experience. And like, I just can't get over it, dude. I'm still high from that shit. It was 2 weeks ago, and I'm still fucking buzzing from that, dude. And then to come home and like be able to show family and friends and other people, it's just
Right.
very, very cool of a thing to do. Like that's just literally like a boyhood dream come true that I never thought would happen. And if I did think it would happen, I think it would happen at like some random little indie show, a homie of mine. We do it in front of 30 people. Nah, dog, that was in Iowa. 2,000 people. I mean, come on, dude. That shit's insane.
It's awesome just because it kind of, we talked about it in our last conversation together. And, you know, to watch it kind of come to fruition between, you know, Fulton throwing you like a lawn dart at one point, and there was another spot, the last one in Dayton, and then and then it's finally being the culmination of it, man. It was a proud papa moment for us, for sure.
Oh man,
Yeah.
I knew you guys were proud, and when I saw your guys' reactions, that was like, that's the coolest part too, is seeing like people being genuinely psyched for me.
Oh yeah.
And then I had like a couple salty people send me messages that were like, "Oh, dude, I wish I was there," and then it basically turns into like, "Hey, can you get me to Revolver?" And it's like, come on, guys, you can't even be like hyped on me for a second.
Can you get me to Revolver? Get the fuck out of here!
Every single day, bro. I get it, and I've even told Sammy at this point, and Sammy's like, "Dude, the only thing that you should tell people is just fucking show up. Like, if these people are willing to fly from Florida to Ohio or Iowa for every single show and put in the work that everyone else does, they might get an opportunity. But I can't go like promising people shit just because whatever, I work for Revolver or whatnot." It's just unprofessional of them to even think that. It kind of bothers me a little bit.
Well, and two, it's, you know, that's a moment in your career. Like, you're usually the guy that's behind the camera. Nobody ever really sees you. I mean, heck, I hardly noticed you the first 3 Revolver shows we went to. I remember having to be like, "Oh, hey, I think I see a purple hat right there." Like, you're really good at, you know, kind of staying out of the way, as it were, but like getting all the really good shots. So for you to get that moment, to get up there and hit a fucking frog splash in front of 1,500, 2,000 people. What's that?
Perfect frog splash.
Perfect for picturesque frog splash.
Need some need some slow mo in there because everything's better than slow mo.
Like I don't understand as a a talent or whatever how that's the first thing they go to. Like, "Oh, hey, we're happy for you. Hey, can you get me on Revolver?" Like, no, just fucking be happy for me for 5 seconds. Like, before asking me for a goddamn favor.
Dude, the funniest is some people didn't even mention the frog splash. Some people were just like, "Hey, what's up? Been thinking about you. What do I gotta do to get to Revolver?" And I'm just like, it's
hustle, bitch.
It's weird, man. It's weird, but I get it, and it's cool to be in a position where I do like have a inside route to like talking to Sammy and whatnot. But it's just weird for people to be delusional enough to be like, "Oh, I fucking hit up Roland and fucking I'm gonna be on Revolver next week." It's like, dude, fucking fly yourself out there, get a hotel, fucking work your ass off, fly home happy if not shit happens, and fucking rinse and repeat until something happens. That's all I got, boys.
Yeah, I mean, it's like the Alpha Sig guys. I mean, those guys, you know, for the first couple shows we went to, they're working security or working the door or whatever. I'm sure they're setting up and breaking down the ring, and now they're, you know, getting spots on the show.
Bro, now they're part of Revolver. They are very, very beloved. They're super over. Another one that works her ass off is Blair Onyx. Blair would drive from wherever to go to all the shows. I remember her being at Ohio and Iowa shows. So either way, she's making a drive. And she earned a spot there. And now she's, you know, might have a spot and more shows and more opportunities. It's, bro, even one time on a Revolver show, puts you out there so much that it's got to be incredibly beneficial for a worker. Dude, I legit got like I think close to 1,000 new followers from that Frog Splash clip, dude.
Wow.
From
Love it.
Instagram. So I can't imagine like being on that platform as a wrestler on a big show, main event, blah blah blah. Like you rapidly start getting seen on a platform like that, man.
Well, we have to thank you because you're helping our following because the reel that we released of Mox doing his entrance at Ring of Destiny, and you're in that reel. So people seeing you next to Mox, I mean, we've jumped up probably 200 subs in like a month.
Hell yeah,
or followers, whatever you want to call it.
Not to mention that awesome video you caught of the hug.
Oh my god, dude!
That was awesome.
Yeah, dude. There's a lot of cool moments at those shows, so I've been trying to shoot a little bit extra before and a little bit extra after, just in case we miss a little moment. So glad to have caught some cool stuff, and you guys are in that prime position, so I make it a point to get those clips. There was the one clip of one of you guys holding up, I think something for Alex Colon or something, and I remember when we were editing that highlight reel, Sammy was like, dude, I fucking love this clip, and I was like, yes.
Well, that's the thing, man. I love making signs because I feel like, especially like, I like to make ones that bad guys will rip up. I like to make signs that make people say something. Like, so when Macklin gave me that moment and he got in my face, you know I had to scream, Jake fucking Chris. Jake fucking Chris. You know, if interaction is what Sammy wants out of his fans in the crowd, that's something I'm absolutely going to give him. So, you know.
Oh, yeah.
Yep,
I really like the idea.
Yeah, he loves that shit, man. So when I won't spoil the idea, but when a new idea popped up for the next show about some signs to bring, and you guys were just curious, I was like, dude, I think he'd love that. In fact, I heard him telling a story of a similar situation where he had a fan come up to him in Texas, and he had a sign that said like, whatever, fuck you, one of the wrestlers, and he was like, is it okay if I have a sign that says fuck you? And Sammy was like, fuck yeah, what are you talking about?
It's wrestling Revolver, buddy.
I just wanted to make sure we didn't step on any toes, because that many, you know, the idea that I have is quite a boisterous idea, and I know it would create quite a viral moment, you know, captured in the right way. So I have no problem adding to the story if I am so allowed. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. Especially knowing, having that heads up, and knowing even if we get one full side and everyone keeps it hidden until that moment, and then they reveal it when Homeboy comes out. Yeah, that's some really cool shit, man. And you're right. We're creating a moment that we know is gonna get over, because he's gonna flip out, dude. He's gonna flip out.
Absolutely, he's gonna flip out.
What the fuck? Especially when they all match, he's gonna be like, "Holy shit!" I might make 100 of these. I might go a little extra, and then just right before that particular match, if somebody could, you know, let me know that we're there, I will go. I'm assuming it's gonna be main event, so I'm pretty sure I will know. But
I will definitely let you know
when to hand out.
Yeah.
It's about to go
That
down.
match has got to be probably main event-ish. So
there's no way, unless
we haven't given
intermission name.
Yeah, as if we haven't given clues as to what we're talking about, but yeah.
Right. Just tune in to Wrestling Revolver Heat 'em Up on August 3rd, and you'll know what we're talking about.
Or buy
and you will see the dads. We will be right next to the entrance. That's going to be the Dad World Order section right there, right up there in front. So
the official sponsor position, prime spot for my dude.
Dude, I love that spot. Like the first time we sat there, we sat a little further back, but it was still like awesome in that section, and we were like, dude, we got to get that again. And we ended up getting there early, and there was nobody over there, so we're sitting right in front of this motherfucker, and I'm so glad we did, because, you know, like Cephas got his moment with Macklin and the sign, and, you know, me and Mike being right up there when Jake won. It was just the whole thing was awesome, man.
Yeah, dude.
One of my favorite wrestling memories of my entire life. So
yeah,
and that's saying something.
Yeah,
that goes for me too. And I've been to this next year will be my 6th WrestleMania. And I can't say that I have felt the closest I could say at Mania would be Kofi. You know what I mean? And maybe it's because we're biased to Jake and he's local, and we've been a fan of him for many years. You know what I mean? So I think that was a little bit to do with it. But man, that was a great moment. It was next level, man. Next level.
Yeah, dude. Sammy's an expert at devising these stories that really make you feel a little bit. And I know he really cares about storytelling as well as diversity in a show. So it's basically can't miss TV every time Revolver happens.
Yes. I was mad we weren't there in Iowa for your big spot, but I don't know if we would be able to contain ourselves when that went down. We might have been escorted out.
Yeah, you guys might have been kicked out. Too rowdy. Oh, dude, that's so funny. That's so funny.
We'll be there next time.
We're definitely going to be there for the next Iowa show, though, for sure. We're making that.
I'm trying to talk these guys into Texas, too. It's only a 14-hour drive. It's not that bad.
Bro, I'm getting I'm catch a flight.
I'll road trip with you, Cephas.
Hell yeah.
I'm going to buy a ticket next to Roland.
Hey, Rolly, what flight you on? All right, I'll be right there with you.
First class.
I don't know. I wasn't a part of the dWo when you guys first did your first interview with Tussle.
Yes.
So pardon me if I'm asking a question that's already been asked here, man, but how did you get into wrestling, man? Are you a lifelong fan? Like, what is this just something that you've always been obsessed with?
Definitely always loved it since I was little, but then when I got to like high school, it drifted off a little bit, and then college, I was like heavy into skateboarding and wake skating. So once I moved into an apartment complex sometime around 2000, like 10-ish maybe, I got back into wrestling because I had a homie that lived upstairs, and he was like, "You ever heard of NXT?" So he got me back into it because I had a friend. I always had links back to it through wakeboarding, and it just all came back together. And once I started going to shows and shooting, it just kind of spiraled out of control after like a few years. And just meeting different people and different opportunities just kind of got me to the point that I'm at right now.
Didn't you have a sponsorship deal with like Adidas or
Nike, wasn't it?
I worked for Nike and Vans.
That was it. Yeah.
I shot for them. I had athletes that lived with me that were sponsored by Nike and Vans, and they basically had obligations of like a 2-page spread every 2 or 3 months. So those photographers were usually contracted out, and I was one of those chosen photographers. So I probably had probably a dozen Nike ads and about 6 or 7 Vans ads. And those were all like still some of the proudest stuff that I've ever shot, man. That's so cool to open up a magazine and see a Nike ad of stuff that you shot. I actually think I have a couple in my living room. I should have grabbed some earlier, but that shit is so cool. People still like know me as a bit of the Nike dude because I always wear Nikes and I always wear 2 different color shoes. So when people ask me that, I end up telling them that I work for them and blah, blah, blah. They would send me all these different shoes and I would say, no, send me this one pair, but all the colors. And I still do that to this day. I just gave a pair to Jessica. We were at her house and they're like purple and teal. And she was like, damn, those shoes are so fucking cool. And I was like, try them on. Because I always have 2 sets, obviously. So she tried them on and they fit her perfect. And I was like, they're fucking yours, baby. So next show, I brought them to her and she probably had forgotten about it or just probably didn't believe that I was actually going to bring them to her. But I brought them to her and she like flipped out and was so happy. But that's like, man, they're my family at this point. And one of the first things she said was like, oh my God, how much money do I owe you? And I was like, are you fucking kidding me? Right. After all the shit you guys have done to me, you have the fucking nerve to ask me for, come on, dude. So, and I've always had the hookup with Nike. I have managers that still hit me up that send me shoes. This one dude sent me a code for this like Nike dude on Fortnite, bro. He sent me a code and it downloaded like this Nike dude and this Nike girl skin. So I still have homies at Nike that still hook me up every now
yeah.
and then. So if I can spread the love, then fucking why not, man? People like that. Yeah, we got to start playing. Speaking of that, we got to start playing a little bit. But I only play with no builds. I've only started playing in the past couple weeks.
You say no builds?
Yeah,
that's what we play too.
We don't play that build shit. We ain't trying to, work for 10 minutes and then get destroyed by somebody who built the sky in 13 seconds.
All right, we might have to hop on after this interview.
Oh yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking. So also, if you do get a Nike hookup, I'm pretty sure Mr. Magnificent likes some Jordans.
I donate a lot of my money to Nike already.
He does. I've seen that guy sitting on the sneakers app like, oh, look at this drop.
Bruh, I will always rep Nike. I always love them. And then Vans is second place, but I fucking love Nike, dude.
See, Vans were always the shoes that I wanted so bad when I was in grade school and high school. And then, my parents weren't buying me no fucking Vans, so I got the super off-brand skate shoes. I can't even remember what the names of them were. Dude, they were something. They were not name brand anything. So I was always.
I don't understand.
Yeah, I mean, now I get it. I didn't need those, but I always remember being jealous of the kids wearing Vans in high school.
That's funny.
So. Go ahead.
You're good. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, with Heat 'em Up coming up, had a few talent announced for this card so far.
Mm-hmm.
It's a pretty sick card so far. And there's been 5 people announced.
Yeah.
And that just makes me all the more excited for it.
Yeah, Tyler Breeze, that should be very cool. Max the Impaler has a match with Jessica, which would be fucking
Hold on. Are you saying Tyler Breeze is going to be at Heat 'em Up?
Yeah.
Prince Pretty?
Wait a minute. I hope
He's a whole double check.
Are we going to have to edit?
No, I'm pretty sure that is announced. I'm pretty sure that's
He got announced for Iowa.
For Iowa,
okay, maybe that's the one I'm thinking then. My bad.
Either way, it's cool to see him back because I had heard that he was kind of indifferent on whether he would even wrestle again.
I actually saw as recently as today him announcing officially that he's taking booking. So it must have been an inside route for him to do shows before, because I know he did a Prestige, or he's going to do a Prestige or something. Mm-hmm. Fuck you, Prestige, by the way.
Yeah, fuck you, Prestige.
Fuck Prestige.
I am a huge fan of Prince Pretty. I think he is the best glamorous gimmick in modern day wrestling that we have seen. I think he's great, especially when they paired him with Dongo. I think that they did some amazing stuff together, and I think they were severely underrated.
I really hope that whatever match he's booked is something that just lets us see 100% him. And I love the character work and I love his gimmick, and I don't know how much he'll do that on the indie scene, but as a worker and his in-ring is just really, really extremely high level and supreme. So I'm really excited to see, because Sammy's gonna give him a badass match.
Oh yeah, for sure.
For some reason, I'm kind of thinking maybe Speedball-ish. Maybe if I were to, which I think Speedball might be better served somewhere else. What I would like to see is Tyler Breeze versus Brian Keith, but I don't know how much.
All right, that's one I wouldn't even think it of.
Yeah,
I do like that though.
It'd be interesting to see him, and it's like seeing some of these wrestlers when they come to AEW. It's like they're almost a totally different wrestler because those proverbial WWE handcuffs are taken off, and they can truly kind of go all out.
Yes.
Pun intended.
Pretty to me though.
But yeah, like you said, Maxine Paler coming there, like her versus or them versus Jessica, like oh my god, dude! Like
Masha too, right?
Masha's gonna be there.
Yeah.
At
yes.
Come on.
Oh my god! And then of course, Cardona.
Cardona, the indie god.
Cardona, I believe it's gonna be Cardona and Jake.
Yep, that's officially been announced.
I remember being at Ring of Destiny and seeing that pop up on the screen, his little promo to Jake right after he won, and that was
it's funny too because we were on the way. We were talking about like, are we gonna? It's called Destiny. Are we gonna see? It's themed like Indy. Are we gonna see Matt Cardona?
Yeah.
And we did. We just didn't see him there, but he's going to be there August 3rd, and it's going to be awesome, man. I have been a fan of him since he was an Edgehead. I've followed him. I watched all of the Z True Hollywood or Long Island Story. I was a huge fan of him in WWE and everything he's doing now. So to see him live is going to be a treat.
Awesome. He really does bring something extra, and maybe some people might not like this opinion, but that dude is a huge benefit to the indie scene. Literally anywhere he goes, he holds so much power to cut one promo or to make one post about whatever promotion and just get them seen by the masses just because of his huge and loyal cult following. So that dude is
a part of it.
Quite frankly, is a blessing to indie wrestling.
Dude, he's how I found out about GCW. Was him beating Nick Gage at the Showboat and everybody throwing garbage at him. Like,
bro,
not to mention he's a podcast god.
Yeah. Well, he's pretty good at that.
He's alright.
Don't you hate?
Yeah, that does a lot.
But yeah, so obviously we got 2 pretty awesome shows coming up in the next 2 months, but was there anything aside from your fantastic frog splash at Iowa or Texas that like really stood out to you?
Dude, Cage of Horrors was fucking awesome. That whole event was so good, and that main event was just kind of wild, man. I was told to pretty much do whatever during that match, and I got in the cage a couple times, but it was so rowdy, dude. And then Trey getting hurt so early kind of made a different mood for the match where SGC just turned it up, man. They weren't going to back down because they were one person up, man. They put the boot to them and fucking got them titles. So word on the street is that those titles might possibly be I forget what the terminology is for it, but they can defend them in any order that they want.
Freebird rule. So it can be Mance and Manders or Thrash and Manders or Mance and Thrash. Yeah.
And then something else might develop from that. I just don't know how solid that is quite yet. But I do know that any of those boys, any combination of those boys can defend those titles on any team, Rascals or SGC or whatever.
I like the sound of that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And then so for Texas, man, the no rope match, the pit match.
Oh my god.
Wow, yeah.
That match was so cool. And I love the pacing of it. There were a lot of workers that said that just like the cardio and the gas that those guys had to do that and that style of a match, man, those boys were really fucking smacking each other, dude.
That's what I was saying. It felt like a shoot MMA fight.
Dude,
like that's watching it.
Yeah, they both have that background, so they really went for it, man, because they don't... Dude, think about being in that position, how hard it is, like, fucking kayfabe aside, think about how hard it is to put on a match like that and make it really, really, truly competitive and highly believable and completely suspend your disbelief. And, dude, that crowd loved it. Those big moments, those kind of knockout moments that happened here or there.
Oh, yeah.
Were so cool. And the impact, a lot of the impact of those shots were the real deal, man. I couldn't have been any closer. And a lot of those shots were very, very loud and impactful. So, and I hope they run that back, because the angle that I shot, it's in the highlight reel. I might have missed it, but I personally never saw JD tap out. And I'm a big MMA guy. That's kind of happened before in UFC fights where there's funny tap outs or verbal taps or whatnot. Point of the story is I didn't see JD quit. And right after that match, I followed him to the back, and he gave me an amazing promo that I hope gets released soon, because that dude needs a little bit of a rematch in this situation, because
Yeah.
I hope we can get a couple different angles on that to really, really see. Because, like I said, I personally didn't see any sort of tap or hear a verbal tap.
Sound like they should just like heat him up in Dayton or something.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's crazy how well they've developed stories and made me care for people that I didn't know about this time last year. You know what I mean? There's a lot of magic. You spoke about the camaraderie. I think that's what really attracted us when the idea of sponsoring you for these shows came up. It was almost an instantaneous yes for me. Like I didn't even really like. We talked about this in our group chat, man, and this is a special moment in this time in wrestling and being a wrestling fan. And I think that the Revolver's on the precipice of something large, man. I could see them being a contender in the wrestling industry more than they are today. You know what I mean? It's nice to be a part of it. It's really cool.
Absolutely, man. I feel the same way. Just being associated with Revolver is like the coolest accomplishment that I've had in wrestling so far. I think I fucking love them so much. I got a goddamn tattoo on my arm.
Hell yeah!
Love that.
Pathetic that I am with Sammy and Jake have the same one, and a couple other people are now like, oh, Crash is gonna get one as well.
Yeah.
So, dude, I love that brand, and what we're doing is different. We don't want to do what anyone else is doing. We want to do what we're doing, and now we've cultivated a very distinct style and look, especially that you see in our packages and whatnot, to develop and further push those stories. You can see that after every show we release 5, 6, 7 promos to push along the storylines, to keep things going, to keep that hype generated and keep those stories going. So there's Sammy is just such a genius on so many levels. The fact that he's such an incredible wrestler, he's phenomenal coach, he's crazy booker because he literally knows everybody, and the dude promotes his ass off, man. He literally does so much stuff behind the scenes that no one really knows about. That dude, hopefully that dude gets what he deserves, because he puts in so much work and he gets very little help. That's why I was very excited about Palmer and this Texas gig, is Palmer really took the reins and made a lot of this happen that Sammy wouldn't have access to. Being able to, Sammy would have had to flown to Texas to scout arenas and find a ring and all this stuff, and Matt made all that happen through Texas. And hopefully that dude comes in as more of like a managerial, helping run the promotion, because he's amazing. And I don't want him to just be at Iowa and Texas shows. I want him to be at every fucking show, wrestling, helping book, agenting, everything. That dude is an everything man. And the way I get treated when I'm in Revolver is second to none. I stayed with Sammy for 2 weeks straight, and not once during those 2 weeks did I have to pay for any sort of food. Even sometimes when I would go up with money, he's like, no, I got you. Every 2 weeks straight, breakfast, lunch, and dinner, this dude's paying for me. Nonstop. And the couple times that I wasn't with Sammy, Palmer fucking bought my food. So it's just like, it's so phenomenal. And on top of that, man, the coolest shit ever, we stayed at Palmer's house. And Palmer's house is just this beautiful fucking awesome house. And that's where Athena lives, dude. Like, these dudes work their asses off to live in this amazing house, and to just have a bunch of fucking stank ass wrestlers come and stay there was like, it was very cool that like he allowed a small group of us to go and stay there. It was basically me, Sammy, and Rich Swann, and just that feeling of being. I thanked Palmer multiple times, like, man, thank you for letting me come, because I know there were a couple people that like, should we get them a hotel or should they stay in the house? We'll get them a hotel. So to be able to be involved in that and be part of that crew in that way is so damn cool, man. Like, the spot, what I do, how important he makes me feel is just such an awesome, beautiful thing that I never thought would happen this early in my career doing this, man. Sammy has opened up so many doors. It's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, a super shout out to Matthew Palmer, man, because obviously we had him on as a guest, which you also helped facilitate, and he was one of our favorite interviews ever. Like, I can't wait to have him back on again. He was so much fun talking to him.
He's so
hilarious, dude. Just so funny.
Natural.
I mean, yeah, like just talking about, like, I remember at the very beginning we said I think I said something like Cephas is our resident, like, Kenny Rogers, like, from Mad TV. Like, I'm Kenny Rogers, and this is a dairy chug. And he immediately ran with, like, oh, this is Kenny Rogers. Like, he had the impression down pat, and he was like, dude, I say it to my wife, like, at least once a day. Like, I'm Kenny Rogers, and I need a glass of milk.
He is amazing, and he's like that, dude. He's the funniest dude in the room. He's witty and just always got a funny little one-liner that he'll slip in there. I think he's like the funniest dude ever, and I've told him multiple times that he's like my top 3 hangs, dude. Like, spending time with him is special to me, and that match that he had with Archer was so damn cool, and quite possibly the most over match of the night, just because of the crowd reactions and interactions that they had were amazing, dude. And Archer genuinely was having an amazing time, to the point where he gave me a clip where he smacked Palmer over the guardrail, and I went right up to his face, and he looked over at me and said, I'm having a good time. And you could genuinely tell he fucking was having a good time. So I took that clip and I gave it to Phil during intermission, and I was like, bro, please post this right now so that hopefully people can see, and, you know, it'll start generating more pay-per-view buys and whatnot. 'Cause that moment was so fucking cool to see that happiness in Archer. Like, I haven't seen that happiness in Archer's eyes in quite a while. So that was pretty cool to see that, like, that close for that moment. And there were several moments like that in Texas with Allie and her mom, and
using her leg. Oh my God, that was great.
Sammy stapling her with one of the posters that said something about Allie. I mean, come on. So many cool moments, dude.
Oh, and even like Keith Lee, just being a hometown Texas boy, like, you could just tell, like, he was just like, I'm just having a good fucking time, man, you know?
Yes.
I love it.
Awesome. He's so cool. He called up Sammy and let him know that he was going to do a free meet and greet. And he just did that out of the kindness of his heart, man.
Wow.
So damn cool. And then he went online and just announced it. Like, yo, this is, I guess it was his first indie show in Texas in like 6 years or something like that.
Wow.
So it was kind of like his return to Texas. Yeah. So because of that, he made an announcement, yo, for this Revolver match, I'm going to be doing a free meet and greet. That is so cool. And that show, bruh, we weren't sure just how good ticket sales were going to be. And when the meet and greet started, there was a huge line out the arena. And when the show finally took off, there were 4 billion people in there, man. That place was packed out. It was so cool. And such a success, and so cool to see that, and to go backstage and to hear from everyone that, yo, all I heard backstage was, we're definitely going back to Texas. So it's not even a question. Hopefully it can become part of the rotation, in the sense that we always go Ohio, Iowa, back and forth. So now possibly we can add in that third market where we just go Ohio to Iowa to Texas and keep that loop going. And then hopefully, possibly, maybe a little birdie told me sometime in the future, some Florida shows as well. So if we can start generating that, dude, there's so many cool things on the horizon, man.
We heard from a friend of yours on a recent interview with Mr. Gringo Loco himself that he's maybe scouting some areas in the Chicagoland area.
Oh, yeah. Yes, that's been something that's been cooking up for a bit as well. And Gringo, much like Palmer, is critical in that market. And Gringo, like, is Mr. Chicago. So for him to facilitate that and make that happen, that's a matter of time. And once we get a few of those markets dialed in and spread it out a little bit, it's kind of crazy. Someone was mentioning it this weekend. it's kind of crazy the hype and the buzz that Revolver can generate by just doing shows in Iowa and Ohio. That's fucking crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you look at, I would say, like, okay, for example, GCW, like, they run all up and down the West Coast. They run all up and down the East Coast. They run some in the Midwest. Like, they're all over the country.
Mm-hmm.
And you guys literally run 2 venues, and you sell them out every time. Like, it's unreal.
Yeah, the fan base that we have is amazing, to the point where we know that we can expand out. That's why Texas was a little bit of an experiment to see how it goes. And, Sammy was willing to take that risk and see how over we would be there. And it's also very cool because different storylines can happen there. Like, Allie is queen of Revolver and very much so super, super evil when we're in Ohio and Iowa, but when she's in Texas, that's her hometown.
Right.
It's a different fucking story. So
she's Piper in Portland, baby.
Totally. So we're able to play with storylines like that, and I think that's really cool because Sammy does make it a point to have different things happening at the different events. So essentially, storylines continue more on 2 paths: the Ohio storylines, the Iowa storylines. Now maybe we can have some Texas storylines, and when they intertwine, they intertwine.
Right.
And I love that Sammy has some goofy in him as well. Like, I know a lot of people hated on that YMCA bit, but man, I love goofy wrestling.
Dude.
I bought Santino's his Cobra. I bought the 24/7 championship. I like goofy nonsense stuff, and when I see that kind of stuff, it tickles me to death. So I love that there's a place for that in Revolver. I feel like it needs, Revolver has representation for everyone and everything, and that's something that really sticks out.
Yep, we talked about that a little bit on the last podcast too. Revolver makes it a point to have a little bit of everything. We're not all hardcore. We're not all technical. We're not all deathmatch. We're not all ladies matches. We're not all intergender. We do a little bit of everything, and that's really cool because everyone can be satisfied by that.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those, you just got a giant, smorgasbord, as it were, a nice buffet, and you just get I really like this, and then this is in between it. Hey, that made me a fan too. You know what I mean? Like, you don't just have one style of fan coming to these shows. You bring them all in, and it's awesome.
Right. And the other thing is just the roster, man. The people that we use and have access to
so good.
So damn cool. And people that are more or less exclusive to us. So you'll notice ABC, Ace Austin, and Chris Bay, they don't do a whole lot of indies.
Nope.
But they're always at Revolver.
Yep.
Same thing with, when we get like Swerve, Keith Lee, Ray Phoenix, people like that, they are very much so exclusive to us because Sammy's got that access because basically those are his brothers.
Yeah.
And he can make a phone call and book a dream match very, very easily. And that's something very special that not a lot of promotions have because most promoters are just promoters. They don't actually work and have the history and the lineage that Sammy does. So it's the formula. Everything is so cool how perfectly everything lines up with how he's running that and how things fall into place. And man, he's really, really onto something, man.
I was just happy, Takeshka having travel issues at the last Dayton show enabled us to finally see Sammy have a match at a Dayton show. I swear, every Dayton show I've been to, Sammy's came in Power Drive, Damian Chambers, I believe. Yeah. But other than that, not an actual match. And I was, that was a mighty fine substitute for Takeshka, I believe.
Dude, that was such a treat. When I heard about that, I was very, very happy because we didn't really know about the flight stuff until pretty fucking late. So even in the arena, we were still holding out hope. So, it gets to a point where we got to figure something out. And I actually saw it happen. There was a small group of people that basically had a little powwow. What do you think should happen? And one person said, I think you know what should happen, but you're not going to be too happy with it. And one person said, me? And the other guy said, yeah. And he was like, no, I get it. And eventually, they talked him into it. But it was very cool to see that interaction because we all knew what the fuck needed to happen.
Right.
They just needed a little bit of a push, and then. But what a cool moment, because when his music hit, no one out there knew that Sammy was going to be the replacement. And Takeshita's fucking awesome. That's kind of a dream match, but
Yeah.
having Sammy there to run in and take his place, very, very, very cool.
Yes. Dude, that Ring of Destiny show, that had quite a few surprises. I mean, the gauntlet match with Shark Boy, like, dude, are you kidding me?
Mega pop.
Dude, as you see, I have his toy. I have been following this guy for quite some time. He has sat on my work desk forever.
That's awesome.
Oh, Shell, yeah. When he came out, I don't know if there's footage of me specifically anywhere. I guarantee you, I lost my shit.
He did.
He squealed.
I turned around. I thought Cephas was going to have a stroke or something, dude. He was,
awesome.
I mean, unreal.
We might have to check the tape for clips of that. That's amazing.
Oh, we're going to have to. Yeah.
Dick was so hyped on the pop that he had gotten. I have heard several times behind the scenes that, like, yo, we might have to bring Shark Boy back. So, hey, this might not be the last time we see Shark Boy at Revolver.
That was great.
Moment with him,
just in case.
Good. Jessica's moment with him was so fucking cool. And
yes.
That's legit. That's legit. Like, she's a fan. So when that happened, that's her. That's Jessica there. That wasn't her fucking playing a character. That's Jess.
Yeah.
Oh.
I mean, that whole gauntlet match was awesome, dude. Like, that exceeded my expectations. Yeah. Like, I thought that was going to be, like, maybe, like, 6 or 7 people or something like that. And then they just kept coming. I was just like, what is happening right now? Like, this is insane.
It's like 13 people.
Yeah, big pop for Nevaeh when she came out.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, hell yeah.
That's pretty cool. I know we're surprised about that. Yeah, super cool match. And then low-key, my dude Damian getting the dub. That's I love it. And then he rolls out. Dude, he makes it a point when he rolls out to get a photo with me. He came and posed with me. And, like, dude, I love Damian, man. He's an evil motherfucker, but he's always had my back, dude.
Yeah.
It would be him. Man. He seemed like a formidable opponent for Jake Crist.
I think that's inevitable to have.
Actually,
that
when he won, I was like, "Oh yeah, Jake's going over tonight," because I just pictured that booking already.
you already saw it coming together.
Yeah.
Well, and another thing with Jake winning at that show, man, was like, I remember my first Revolver show I ever went to. I watched, first Revolver show I ever went to, and the most recent Revolver show I ever went to, Jake Crist wrestled for the title at both shows. Mm-hmm. The very first one I went to, he turned heel after the match because he lost and said that Dayton didn't love him anymore and like all this stuff. Like, he just turned heel, whatever. And then this most recent one, he's the hometown boy, and watching him win in front of that crowd and everybody just going nuts. I mean, I jumped 5 feet in the air when he won, you know, like me and Cephas were sitting there like holding on to each other and we're just like 1, 2, 3, you know, jump up like crazy. It was wild, dude. Awesome.
I've never felt more a part of a championship win ever.
Yeah.
Never, like, it felt genuine, like almost like I won it too. Like, it was fun. And my moment with Macklin, like I said, I went to a whole bunch of different events. We're about to go to SummerSlam. I can almost guarantee you I'm not going to get anything at SummerSlam that is going to rival the moment that I got to share screaming Jake fucking Crist right in Steve Macklin's face.
Yeah, absolutely. And so I think in Dayton it was actually supposed to be a rematch with Jake, Macklin, and Cardona. But I don't know if anything was announced, but I think Macklin might have possibly gotten injured recently.
Yeah, he got injured on the Australia tour.
Okay, so that
for
is
Impact
confirmed, and that's out there. So if that's the case, we'll see if he's ready to go by August 3rd. It might actually just end up being a one-on-one with Cardona and Jake. We'll see.
We shall see indeed.
We'll be there.
We'll be there.
That's good for everybody involved.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I mean, Cephas can probably show you. He's probably got his wallet sitting there. Like, we grabbed the stars from Bobby's popper thing.
Yeah.
Before the match even started, like, we picked some up and put them in our pocket because we were like, we feel like this is the night. And we kept them.
Cool.
It's still in my wallet.
Jake, I'm going to clip that and send that to Jake. And he loves stuff like that. Hearing, like, just people getting happiness out of what we do. He really, really fucking appreciates that. So anytime you can send Jake a kind word, he always has such a heartfelt reaction. And that's like, I said it on the last podcast, that's my fucking brother. I love that dude so much. And then he came on the podcast with you guys and he was like, oh, I love Roland, I'd take a bullet for him. And I'm just like, dude, that's like, what more can you say, dude? What more can you say?
I believe him when he says that. Like,
I know, right? Me too,
yeah,
dude.
like, no
Me
doubt,
too. He
100.
would. He fucking would, dude. If we're randomly at a show and something pops off, he'll fucking jump in front of me, dude. I know he would, man. That guy is such an incredible human being. And the Jake that I know is such a magical, special person. And when he wants to accomplish something, he gets it done. And seeing him in the ring is like magic at this point. And we just have such a fucking connection out there. He's always giving me looks. We have this thing now where he always does his springboard moonsault on the outside. Mm-hmm. And we have this thing now where he's like, bro, you just got to get directly underneath me. He's like, we need that shot. So every show I get closer and closer and closer to underneath him. Next fucking show, I'm just going to be right underneath him because he's going to know that I'm going to be there anyways.
Right.
So he's going to compensate or do whatever he has to do because we've been building up to that point. We just have such a good rapport and a good connection out there. It's very rewarding to shoot matches with Jake, but it sucks because I'm also crying like half the fucking match.
Dude, when he won, every single one of us was tearing up. Like, we all got emotional over that.
Oh, yeah.
And I mean, we're having him on next Sunday.
He'll be our
recording
first
with
ever
him.
three-peat guest, isn't he?
That'll be our second one with Jake.
No, it is second? Okay.
Second one with Jake. Yep.
Okay, good. He
I thought you guys did one.
He can't be taking over my record, man.
Right, yeah.
Back him up.
But no, he gets my interactions with him just like messaging and stuff. Man, he's just always so nice. It's not anything short. It's always thanking me, and I'm like, dude, you're doing us a solid. Like, dude, no, don't thank me.
Such a sweetheart. And that's the thing too, he'll take the time to send you a message, and for the most part I get novels from the kid because we're always writing each other back and forth and we have a lot to say to each other, and he'll never send me a fucking thumbs up or an okay. He'll take the time to fucking write back something substantial. So that's one of my guys. Like, love that boy. And like I said, he was the dude. The one thing that I was hesitant about for that spot was getting up onto the ropes. And he told me a little trick because he's like, dude, I know you're athletic. He's like, you skateboard. I know you can fucking balance. So instead of crawling up fucking one by one, he's like, bro, you grab here, you plant here, and you fucking fling up. So when we had a little bit of an idea of it, I was like, can you take me up to the ring and show me real quick? Bro, within a couple minutes, like, those little tips and tricks made that whole thing completely different than if I was on my own just figuring it out. So, and of course he fucking had my back and he was there the whole fucking way helping me out and whatnot. And he was the first person to fucking give me a hug backstage. Dude, that's my fucking brother, man. Love you, Jake.
We love Jake too, man. I mean, just like I said, I know I speak for all three of us, being a part of that moment and being able to share in that just sheer euphoric joy. Like, I mean, he had his, Nevaeh was out there, he had his daughter out there with him. Like, the fact that he just came up and just gave us a big hug and just being a part of that moment was just like, I felt grateful to even be there. So
yeah. And that moment will live on forever, man. When he first won his first Revolver title, he went straight to you boys. That's pretty fucking cool.
That was cool, man.
Pretty cool.
That was really fucking cool.
It almost seemed like fucking everything was meant to be, dude. The way the signs got captured, the way that that he hit you guys for the hug, the way everything was just so like perfect, man. It was such a great night, and that was the night when I was like, okay, this is for sure. I want full in with Revolver. And don't get me wrong, we go to a lot of indie shows. We just went to one last night. There's a lot of good indies out there, but none of them have what Revolver does.
Yeah,
it is a whole different level of production. It feels like a rock and roll music video. It feels like you need to be there, and if you don't, you need to watch it on the internet because it's going to be not can't miss stuff.
It's very true, man. There's some magic formula that's happening right now with Revolver, and from the numbers, bro, I remember when I first started shooting with Revolver, we'd release hype videos and whatnot, and they would usually cap off at like 5,000 views.
Yeah.
Bro, his videos now, when he puts out those edits of any show highlight reels or any of the promos, they usually go up to about 50,000 views. And that's just showing the scale of what we were. This was my 10th show with them, was Texas. Maybe it was my 11th. Fuck. Either way, 10th or 11th show. And in that short amount of time, less than a year, we've seen that much growth. If that just continues, who knows, man? There's other companies out there that get astronomical numbers, and we can be fucking right there with them, man. We're doing the same shit. The level, what it really boils down to is the level of wrestling is on par with fucking anywhere else in the world, dude.
Yep.
Yeah. Take apart production and anything else. If we boil it down to just the wrestling, we have a premier product that can hold toe-to-toe to fucking anyone else. That's the truth of it.
Mark my words, man. I mean to cut you off, Mike. Mark my words. At some point, we're going to go back to this exact clip, and we're going to be like, damn, if we only knew, you know?
Yeah.
Because I think you are hitting the nail on the head. I'm sorry, Mike. Go ahead.
I think one of those, magic things you talk about, you said it in our last conversation, you said it again tonight, and, anybody that we've had that's been involved with Wrestling Revolver has talked about what a good time it is and how great that backstage atmosphere is, and the word family gets thrown around a lot, and I think that just speaks volume because they're running it, like for instance with John Moxley, and he'll catch hell for he's out here performing in a bingo hall or whatnot. He's not doing it because he has to. He doesn't need that money. He's got AEW money. He's probably still got WWE money. He's out there doing it because he wants to. And a lot of those people there are there because they want to be. And they're there to, entertain us all. And they're there for that because they want to be. And that speaks volumes. And that comes across very much.
I always heard that about Moxley, that he does it for the love. And that whatever, sometimes who knows what he gets paid for some shows, because he truly does enjoy being there. So I always heard the stories, but now I've seen it, and I know how the dude is, and I know for a fact that he fucking loves this, dude. When he ran that seminar, bro, there's things there's amazing things that he did to make that seminar happen, and he purposely kept the seminar small. There was about 200 emails of people trying to get in that seminar. So imagine if he had a 200-person seminar, $50 a pop. They could have gone home with a lot of money. But instead, he wanted to keep it small and intimate, limited to 20 people. And he wanted to make sure that those 20 people were legit people, not just random people trying to get there that want his autograph afterwards. They were scouted and vetted in addition to the order that they were requested to go in there.
Right.
Anybody we know?
That seminar was awesome. It was supposed to be like an hour long, and he gave them about 2.5, 3 hours worth of a seminar, dude. So every single person there got their money's worth and then some. And then at the end of it, he had like an open forum. Got any questions? Talking blah, blah, blah. I mean, above and beyond. And I bet afterwards he was probably like, whatever, pay me whatever you guys want to do. Like, he's just that dude, man. He's awesome.
All right, I'm going to go drive 45 minutes home. Like he lives in Cincinnati. Like It's just, I think that's one of the coolest things about seeing him in Dayton is just knowing, like, dude, this is a hop, skip, and a jump for him. Like, this is, he's here just because he wants to be here. He loves doing this shit.
Yeah, right down the road, and he gets to fucking have a cool-ass match. Dude, he legit has fun doing that shit, man. And, like, backstage, a lot of the boys, like SGC, when they get bloody and shit, they're fucking hanging out bloody and shit, dude.
Yeah.
They're drinking their beers and shit with the
We
blood
took
still
pictures
on
with
their
them last
faces.
time.
Oh, yeah.
That shit is so funny, bro. And, like, Mox is the same way, man. Like, he's fucking got his bag all packed up, and he's wheeling his shit out to his truck, saying bye to everyone, and he's still fucking got his blood on. That shit is so cool, man. You can tell that, like, to me, what that means is that, like, that moment, they don't want to let go of that moment. So, like, as long as they're bleeding, there's still that adrenaline that's pumping. There's still, like, that mode that they're in. And then when they fucking go home and fucking have to see their wives and whatever, they gotta, clean up and whatnot. They're just, every single second that they can squeeze out of it. That's how you can tell, man. A lot of people will have a match and they go in the back and they shower and they're fucking out of there, dude. But not the people that love that shit. They let that linger, dude, and you can tell they get a high off of it. And that's something I didn't necessarily understand until I did that fucking frog splash. Now I fucking get it, dude. I see how that shit can be so addicting, dude. It's insane. It's unlike any other feeling I've ever had in my life. And genuinely, last time we had this conversation, I didn't think that moment would be so impactful, because obviously I knew something was going to happen. I didn't think it would be so impactful and so, like, kind of view altering to me, as well as it, like, genuinely helping me out. Like, people went from me just being a camera guy to them after the show wanting to know who the fuck I am, and that's one more person that can follow my journey and support me and whatnot. So it's amazing, man. It's fucking amazing.
Yeah, instead of camera guy chance, we're gonna get tussle.
I know, bro. That's
what I want.
That's the next step, bro.
We're starting one in Dayton. We're starting one. So.
Yeah, we're fucking starting. Mark our
Spoiler
words.
alert, we're starting one.
That's right, baby.
I'm making some tussle signs. We don't know.
Dude, I love it. I'm gonna make it a point to, like, walk out of the curtain all slow. Fuck.
Tussle.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because I know I've caught you guys before where I just fucking poke out the little thing and I see one of you and I'm like, yo, my dude. So I know yours right there. I can give you a little heads up, like, yo, get the signs ready, boys.
Well, and the other cool thing, I think you had mentioned this. I don't think it was on camera. I think we were just texting about it. But you were saying how with us kind of sitting right there in front, those being our spots, like, you don't have to worry about whoever's sitting there. It's us. You can get up in there and get your shots, dude, and everything.
Bro, that genuinely helps so much, because a lot of times I'm getting in motherfuckers' ways, dude, and I hate that. So with you guys, I'm like, yo, I'm basically cuddling up with you guys to get that.
That's fine. You can sit in my lap if you need to.
Fine, dude, it's great. So to already know that, to have that little cubby hole in there, I love shooting from there, and then I can stand up from there and get that angle.
Usually
the workers know to kind of stop. Yeah, they usually know to, like, kind of pause right in front of me so that I can get that rotation around them and whatnot. It's a beautiful synchronicity of everything, dude. So having you guys there is great. That's why with Iowa, I want to figure out how we can have a similar dynamic to that with the Iowa seating. So, because it's different the way the walkout is. The walkout is essentially blocked with the fucking fences. So we'll have to figure something out for there.
Hey, we're there, man. We are there.
You can use Eric as a prop. Just ask him about last night when Madman Pondo basically used him as the threat of the match. Because every time he needed to get up or brace himself, he used Eric.
You wouldn't know this by looking at him. Eric was in a hardcore match last night.
I was with Madman fucking Pondo, dude.
Bro.
Like, this guy, like, I was just sitting there, not really doing anything, but I'm like, dude, at this point, just launch me into this guy like a lawn dart. Like, figure, he's using me as, like, his stability, whatever, every time he had to get up.
He literally raced himself against Rig with a kendo stick.
Yeah.
He was like, last night he was all, I swear to God, if Pondo touches me one more time, I'll drop that motherfucker.
Never once did I say that. Never once.
Pondo's awesome, man. I like how he isolated you And
Oh, yeah.
you were his go-to guy, man. He tried it once. You were reliable and solid.
He's like, yep, this guy can
why
hold me.
fuck around? Yeah,
I am basically a man tree. Like that is the best way to describe me. Solid as an oak. Just use me as your stability platform. So if anybody in Revolver ever wants to do that, by all means, I'm game for it.
Lean on me
50 right off of his head
when you're not strong, and I'll be.
There's a group of guys, and I can't be too specific about it, but there's a group of guys that are basically like sponsors, and they sit in a certain spot ringside, and it's very well known that these boys love that interaction. So basically, maybe who knows, sometimes we plot to have like dive spots very specifically in their general direction. So maybe we might have to start planning that out. I'll kind of point out to some of my homies.
yes please.
Those boys love to get in the mix.
I love pro wrestling.
I will go through LeBron and flop over.
Yeah.
Exactly, dude. Exactly.
I will sell that shit like a motherfucker.
I will Charles Robinson that shit.
Love it, dude. Yup, all perks.
I will
all
Liam
sponsored
Neeson
perks,
that
baby.
shit.
Yeah. But yeah, man, it's just I mean, even when we had Gringo on last week, I mean, I feel like, yeah, we talked about the ROH stuff and everything, but a lot of the conversation just involved Revolver and like him doing production stuff and, you know, everything like that. It's just, it's an amazing promotion to even, you know, we feel like, you know, we're starting to become a part of, to even be associated with.
Oh, bro.
And we're so happy about it.
You absolutely are. I know for a fact that the dWo logo, bro, they extended it on how long it lingers, like when they're playing like the sponsor things. So there were several times where that shit was just boom, just front and center.
That's so fucking cool.
For a long time, dude. So everyone that glanced up saw that shit. That's so cool, man. And I made it a point to get just random clips of it too. So I'd like get shots of the worker and then like, boom.
What is this over here?
Yeah, that's cool. Because like I'm like, you guys are Revolver sponsors, but when you guys presented the idea to me and I presented the idea to Sammy, he said that's cool and all, but what about if they sponsor you specifically? So he wanted it, man, and that's another fucking thing about Sammy, man. Like, it's not about him, dude. This, in one way or another, this puts shine on me.
Yeah.
By him doing it that way. You guys could have just been a Revolver sponsor, and whatever you guys give us helps me out. But instead, it's very well known that no, you're a TussleMania sponsor for Revolver. That's
proud of it too, man.
Cool, dude. Yes. Yep, that's amazing, bro. So anything that I can do, like that little video that we just put together, that's like I texted you guys, like that's our first little sponsor plug, our little sponsor video. Like that's the first of many, dude. Little things like that, and especially once we start stacking clips of you guys interacting and whatnot, we already have the ones of Jake and Steve and all that. So, man, there's some really, really cool stuff that we can do to spice up what you guys do here and just get the word out, man. That's all it is. It's a slow grind, but we're working with the best fucking people possible, man.
Yep.
Just even in that clip you sent us, man, just like the transitions in between like the different views, man. It's just that little stuff, man. It's just beautiful.
I wanted to make it, like anything that I put out represents me. So even with that, like, and at first I feel bad because I was just going to send you guys the 3 raw clips. And thankfully it gave me an error that it was like, I would have had to go through a whole bunch of bullshit to end up sending you the 3 clips separately. So I was like, you know what? Like something was telling me, the universe was like, you fucking idiot. Like this is a perfect opportunity to make a cool little edit. And then the perfect little dWo transitions in between there. Like, come on. That shit's amazing, dude. And I thought it looked great. Beautiful. And I knew you guys would pop for it. And that's a that we can use all the time, anywhere, for whatever.
Oh, that thing's going on the socials as soon as we're done here.
Yeah, absolutely.
That takes this podcast full circle too, man. As you talked about earning your place, and that's all we want to do, man. We want to be a part of this. You know what I mean? So we're gonna sponsor you. We're going to show up. We're going to scream our freaking heads off.
Yeah, dude.
We're going to bring signs. We're going to interact. We're going to boo the bad guys. We're going to cheer the good guys.
Now, hold on.
Wait a minute.
Hold the fuck on.
I like some bad guys. I can't help it.
Me and Mike are gonna cheer and boo the right people. You, not so much.
Listen, some bad guys are really entertaining.
Well, if you guys see Fulton, you gotta give Fulton shit as much as
Oh.
possible.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh yeah.
Public enemy number one right now,
Good,
man.
okay.
Dude, I already have it planned out. When I'm hoping that Fulton is at the next Dayton show, and if not, if he's at Iowa, I am bringing my TussleMania bandana and I am waving that thing right in his fucking face.
That's great. Hey,
Tie it on my face.
You're like full of it.
Yeah, just tie it on my face like Bandito style.
Yes.
I love it. Get him, dude. That's phenomenal. I love to hear that.
Tussle is greater than Fulton sign.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's so funny. We still fuck with each other on Twitter. Who knows? Who knows what might come out of that? But also, he's gonna start working at one of my Florida promotions. So,
Oh wow.
I might be seeing him a little more often than I'd like. You son of a bitch.
You know what? You need to get. I don't know if you know about a local talent in Florida down there named the Cheese, but
that's my dude.
You need to get the Cheese on a Revolver show. He's been on our show, and I'm a huge fan of the Cheese. I don't
we
know
all are, for sure.
To get him in an Ohio show at all, but please, for the love of
Jay
God.
Lethal guy. Jay Lethal puts him over hard. He's a good ass worker, and he
Entertaining.
works a lot of the Florida shows. Man, it's just dudes like that. Just I don't know what the general rules are of how to get yourself out there, promote yourself to a lot of the promoters out there, but man, sometimes it's as simple as, bro, just hit Sammy up, send him a fucking email, hit him up on the DMs, get in his face and show him shit. Who knows, man? So I know from the Texas show, Palmer specifically picked out some MPX talent to put in front of Sammy's face.
Yeah.
And after the show, there were two people specifically that when we went to eat afterwards, Sammy was like, you know who I was fucking super impressed with? This guy and this guy. Dude, those guys are fucking made now.
Dude, that opening match with Rich Swann and who was the guy, Rich?
Exodus
Holy
Prime,
shit.
That match was so
Prime.
good, dude.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
That match was
man.
awesome.
That was a good opener for a show.
It was the perfect opener. And there were actually they were debating for another match to be the opener, and I'm really glad they settled on that because Richie is just he's so solid
All night long.
and so reliable and so entertaining. The dude can go and he can match any style. So this young kid wanted to get out there and show what he's fucking got. Yo, Richie's right there with him, dude. Not skipping a beat. Richie Swann is another dude that's just magic for me to shoot with because he is so impressive that a lot of times I'm in awe. I've caught myself missing shots because I'm stuck on him in the camera
Right, yeah.
dragging down. I'm like, fuck. He is unbelievably awesome. And that match with Exodus was fucking amazing. Especially for a fucking opening match, dude. What good energy for an opening match.
That was fantastic, dude. And Mike has said this countless times, and he's the one that made me realize it when he said it. I love going to shows or watching shows and having somebody I have no clue who they fucking are make me a fan. You know? And that one match right there, boom, I'm a fan.
How cool is that? Yep. And I bet just from a from a way to gauge things, I bet that on whatever social platform he had a nice little bump that night because just like you, he made a substantial amount of fans. Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And that's bro, that's all it takes, man. That's so cool to see the proof right there. You fucking saw a match of his, you were impressed, boom, you go online, find out who that dude is, boom.
Yep.
New following. That's that's so cool to see that whole ecosystem going around. I've shot with him probably 3 or 4 times, just random Texas shows, because as you guys might know, when I started out, I was like heavily involved in Texas. I shot all over Texas a lot, mostly because of Ninja Mac. And that was a dude I came across probably 3 or 4 times. And this match here was certainly his breakout. And they knew that he deserved that spot. That's why they gave him Richie Swan. He could have had a match against another MPX dude or whatever.
Right.
They knew that this was a really important role. And, bro, he got the fucking dub.
Yeah.
He got a clean pin on Richie Swan. That's pretty cool,
That's
man.
what kind of surprised me.
Nice
Yeah.
feather in his cap.
Yeah, I thought that was going to be, like a 6-7 minute match, something like that. Okay, Rich is going to go over, little spotlight guy for this guy, and then I'm like, oh, okay, well, here's this guy.
I love that. That's another thing we got is that unpredictability. The way that we're booking in our storylines, we're not going to make shit predictable and anticipate what's going on. Like, we love little surprises like that. Hey, man, that shit was meant to be, and that's how it needed to be, and that's how it was, man.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Excuse me. Well, we're about an hour 20 into this son of a bitch. You got anything else you want to talk about there, Rolly?
Oh man, I think that about sums it up, man. That this was another cool one, dude. I love
Hell yeah,
boys. Always a good time.
always a good time.
For anyone who enjoyed listening, we're going to have Mr. TussleMania on pretty much every single time there's a big Revolver show. We're going to have him on to talk about it.
Yes.
And he's going to be our first official recurring guest. Besides me, but I turned into a host.
Yeah.
So.
Be careful. We have a way of.
Yeah, we just had Cephas on a couple times. Like, oh, you want to come on the show with us?
Feel the power.
No, I genuinely enjoy doing these, and especially when we have like a cool format and we can just riff with each other. And man, we can maybe even start doing like some fan questions, stuff like that. And,
Yeah, absolutely.
Whenever.
Yep.
We definitely got to make sure we stick to the post-show reviews. Definitely keep those up. And I even have like a list pulled up of like all the matches, and we can go through them and blah blah blah, all the moments and whatnot.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Start throwing out new ideas, man. I love this shit. I really enjoy it.
I really like how you just said the fan questions. We need to do like Q&As on our socials. Like, hey, we're gonna record soon. You got any questions?
Yeah,
I love
dude,
that.
We can all blast that out and get a few questions out of that and fucking see how that goes. Because I know people ask me questions all the time, man. So if they can put it in some sort of official capacity and route it through there, I think that'd be pretty fun.
Absolutely.
Agreed.
Well, Mr. Magnificent, Cephas, you got anything else?
Can't wait for August 3rd.
Yeah.
Me too, man. That is going to be awesome. Which Wrestling Revolver, August 3rd, heat 'em up at the Calumet Center in Dayton, Ohio.
Oh yeah.
The dads will be there. You should be there too. That card, like I said, they got like 5 people announced, and I'm already like, God, what the hell else is going to happen? You know?
Oh, and there's a few more secrets coming up too.
Oh God, trust me, I want to know, but I also love being surprised. So,
I have one more.
well, go ahead.
Do you know how many optometrists it takes to screw in a light bulb?
How many?
1 or
Okay.
2. 1
God
or
damn it.
2.
That was good. That was a good one.
That's awesome.
I love that. Got to get our dad jokes in.
Dad World Order.
Well, Tush, you got anything you want to plug there, big dog?
No, man. Instagram and Twitter, TussleMania. So go check it out, boys, for some cool stuff. I guarantee, this is one thing I like to tell people when I plug my stuff. Like, I wouldn't follow my account if it sucked. And
Right.
I can pretty much guarantee that my content is enjoyable at the very least, that, daily, I very much so make it a point to put stuff up daily. So the consistency and the quality is something I take pride on, and thankfully I have a means to do that because I work with amazing places like Revolver. So
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
We go, we go back
and
and listen to ourselves too, and
Yeah.
try to Be our worst critics.
Make sure that we would watch our show. You know what I mean?
Yes, absolutely.
I laugh at me, so.
Right, yeah. God, I'm hilarious.
Yeah.
You know what I'd really love if we do when we do the Revolver shows, we gotta try to do like some run-ins or something like that. Have like Palmer come on here and start giving you shit or something like that. I think that would be a lot of fun.
You know what I could actually do?
Run-in?
Bro, you know what I could actually do is get like a separate phone and like FaceTime the homies. Palmer would definitely do that. Palmer, I know Jake would love to do that. Crash will just like text me to just like see what's up. So I know Crash would be down for some shit like that.
Yeah.
But we might even be able to get that big dumbass Fulton on FaceTime and maybe have a little one-on-one.
Can we have a trash talking session between you and Fulton?
We can have a little
I love it.
There you go. You guys can hash it out. Become
friends.
There you go.
That giant goof.
Why I oughta.
The dad's gonna sit you guys down and make you work your differences out.
Look at his.
Yeah.
You're both going in the corner.
Also, for anybody that's listening to this on audio platform, I'm now realizing this at the end of the show. The clip that we played earlier in the show, you guys had to just sit there and listen to for a minute and 24 seconds. So go watch on YouTube because you missed out on some really cool shit.
Yes.
Or check out our social media here soon after.
You'll see it soon. But as always, thank you so much for coming on, man. We love you. Happy to be a part of Revolver. Sponsor the wonderful brand in person that is TussleMania.
Yep.
And can't wait to see you on August 3rd, man.
Hell yeah, fellas. And we're going to be playing some Fortnite up until then. No build.
Oh,
build.
hell yeah, no build. I ain't trying to build up in the sky and shit. I ain't coordinated enough for that.
Love it. Squad up.
Alrighty, well, as always, we have been the dWo Podcast. I have been Big Rig. He has been Mr. Magnificent Mike Martin. He has been Wrestling T-Shirt Guy Cephas. And he has been the man, the myth, the legend, TussleMania. Till next time, Top Dads, out.
Later, boys.